right, so as Jose just mentioned, here they are combined for 100 career goal combinations. It really is impressive, but it's no surprise that they have this fantastic chemistry. They're friends inside and outside the pitch from what we've seen here from Leo Messi and Luis Suarez. But Shaq, with what we've seen from them in general, and specifically what we're seeing from them now in the Concacaf Champions Cup, how would you rate their performance?
Listen, it kind of harks back to Barcelona of old, if I may say so. Just the understanding between the two, how they anticipate. You saw Luis Suarez with the strength that again kind of harks back to Luis Suarez of old. Those flashes of brilliance, we know they're capable of. And certainly Lionel Messi, it's a whole lot more than a flash of brilliance. I mean, we cannot. I didn't think we'd still be talking about Lionel Messi in this context, this deep into his career. If you told me 5-10 years ago that come 2025, Lionel Messi will still be producing these moments of magic, I would have said impossible. It's just beyond what he was doing then, was beyond human then. To be doing it now, still, it's amazing to witness. The question, though, becomes, and again, and for as brilliant a career that Luis Suarez has proven himself to be over the course of his career, can he maintain it at this level, deep into an MLS season, when it truly matters? There's no doubting that he's still got the quality. It's like riding a bike for players of his ilk. But as this season gets longer, it gets tougher. As the minutes pile up, can he be that player that Inter Miami need him to be at that stage of the season? Can
he, Jose?
Suarez or Messi?
Suarez.
Suarez, I mean, Marcelo Bielsa has answered this question for everyone. According to Marcelo, Luis Suarez doesn't have enough in the tank, you know? Yeah. You can make the difference in MLS. I mean, Herc just mentioned how the defenders perform in this game that we just watched the highlights. So at the highest level, I don't think so. Of course, he is one of the amazing players that we have witnessed in the last 20 years. He has a special place in history, especially when we talk about the Uruguayan national team. But as of right now, he's not elite anymore.
Let me ask you guys really quickly, what's the best league in the Americas when we're talking about football?
Brasileirão.
Brazil. And this man was feasting on Brazilian defenders last year on one knee. When everybody said, he's got to go, he got to retire, his knee is done, he was feasting on Brazilian defenders in that league, the best league in the Americas. And when he comes over here, all we heard is the physicality of Major League Soccer, Shaq. How is he going to do in the summer? How is he going to do with how physical these defenders are? And what did he do? 20 goals. Between him and Messi, they had 40 goals, over 30 assists. They feasted on CONCACAF opposition. And this isn't just exclusive to Major League Soccer. Liga MX, Costa Rica, whatever the best league that comes up may be, they're going to do that to those defenders as well. If they are 100% fit, because many will bring up, well, what happened against Monterrey? I repeat, if they are 100% fit, if they have no fitness issues, they're going to eat you up. I don't care who you are. And this is why we're having these conversations. And Shaq's absolutely right, of how long he's done it for. Because we've already seen comparisons of Lamine Yamal, Barcelona, and what he's doing at 17 years old to what Messi did when he was 17 years old. And people bring up, Lamine's numbers are better. Here's the thing. Look how long Messi did that for. It's very easy. I shouldn't say it's very easy. The easiest part is making it. The hardest part is staying there. And he's not only stayed there, he's thrived. And that goes for Luis Suarez as well. You said in the highlight, how many times have you seen that? It's vintage Suarez. Just, you know, there's a mistake by a defender, and he's capitalizing off that. He's forcing people into awkward and unnatural positions where he's feasting on.
So to your point, I don't question whether Lionel Messi can be doing it come October, November.
Of course.
He's shown that he continues to, again, it's simply amazing to witness what he's doing and you question where that ceiling is. It's more about Luis Suarez for me.
Yep.
And while I get your point, he does well in Brazil, there's a different ask in Major League Soccer in that when the season comes to a head in October, November, that's when things matter. Whereas everywhere else you play, it's over the course of 9 or 10 months or whatever it may be. For Luis Suarez, I won't challenge you in that he'll put up good numbers over the course of a season, but come October, November, can Luis Suarez produce these kinds of performances? It's still February.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
He can produce them in February and March. Can he do it in October?
You're right, because that's where the wheels fell off for Inter Miami. It's October time when they're in a stupid 3-series game against Atlanta. How stupid that sounds, how ridiculous that sounds. They couldn't beat Atlanta in one of those 3 games.
Yeah.
The wheels fell off. Busquets wasn't on the field. Messi looked like he wasn't 100%. Luis Suarez, didn't look like 100%. Jordi Alba was at half gas. That's going to be the question for these players, which is why I prefaced it with, if these players are healthy. If these players are healthy and on the field, they will feast. And that's not exclusive to Luis Suarez. I firmly believe, you look at Luis Suarez, and I said it a few weeks ago when they were playing in Central America in one of these glorified friendlies that they do their preseason tour. It looked like Ronaldo in a retirement game. That's what it literally looked like. But like Ronaldo in a retirement game, he was still scoring goals.
Yeah.
But what they did against Kansas City, it is expected. Like Shaka said, at the end of the day, we're going to measure Suarez, Messi, Inter Miami in the playoffs. And so far, they came up short. I mean, MLS changed the format. They had 3 games against Atlanta United. In 3 games, usually the better team has an advantage. They were the best team in regular season. But in crunch time, they weren't able to perform. And by the way, the issue is not just in October, September. The games against Monterrey were in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't fit. They weren't healthy.
Well, then that's a problem, especially with how important these 2 players are, but especially Lionel Messi. We're going to play a little game here. Which goal did you like more? Which is always tough when we talk about Lionel Messi, but we're going to make it easy on you guys and focus on the ones that we saw in this series. I know we discussed this one last week. Shaq, I'm gonna start with you because this one technically is so impressive.
This is a better goal for me.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's like asking a parent to choose between 2 kids here.
Saying this is Sophie's choice.
I'll tell you right now, my daughter.
well then the first goal here is the daughter. The second being the son. I mean, that goal, you have to put it in its fullest context with the conditions. This, special.
Yeah.
No question. But I thought the first, the control in traffic, the turn, the cutback, the wrong foot, it's supposed to be his swinger. Everything about the first for me, I thought was just simply special.
Perk?
Yeah, I agree. It's the first one for the degree of difficulty. That's how I measure how good a goal is. It's how difficult is it to achieve, to pull off. There are very few players in the world in those conditions because it's freezing cold. He's not gotten himself into the game at that point. He's running backwards, literally running backwards. It's a lofted ball. A forward usually thinks you're going to get clocked by either the center back or the outside back. He's going to come in and just clean your clock. He has the composure to bring it down with his chest. And in one swift move, as the ball is falling down to the ground, as it hits, he cuts it, chopping the defender, and then hits it into the corner with his weaker foot. It's just an unnatural goal you don't see every day, whereas the volley, you do. You can see the degree of difficulty and how that must be difficult for the goalie to see, the goalie to read, the defenders to react to, and easy for Messi. But the first finish is, even for Messi, you would say, wow.
Mm-hmm. The first one is Gigi, the second one is Santi.
Here we go.
They're still both great. You need to show Santi this video when he's old enough to understand.
I'm going to make sure of that.
To pick a bone with you. Yeah. Jose?
I mean, Chris, I'm not going to disagree with the striker and with the goalkeeper. I mean, I agree with them. The second goal, the degree of difficulty, the way he controls the ball, he turned, and then he finished with his right foot. I have a stat for you guys. Mm-hmm. When Messi played in Barcelona, he scored 672 goals. Only 85 of them were with his right foot. So as Herc said, his weaker foot, I mean, what an amazing goal. This is what
Only. Only.
I mean, when we talk about Messi, we have to say only, right?
Very true.
I guess.
Right?
Yeah. That's a career for most people. Oh, boy.
Oh, man. All right, let's take it to the bracket now. What's coming up here for Inter Miami? It'll be interesting, but here on the other side, at least, there it is. Against Cavalier, that's their next matchup, and as we know, eventually, we will talk about the possibility of those Liga MX matches if they do not disappoint. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But their next rival then is Jamaican side Cavalier, which is interesting because they're prepping for what is already a naturally big game because Messi and Inter Miami are involved. They will have made adjustments ahead of their clash in the round of 16. Cavalier usually plays at Stadium Eastfield, but has decided to move to Independence Park in Kingston due to the high demand for tickets. This is their national stadium. Here, Shaq, what does this the big game mean now for Cavalier, a game that's already sold out?
Yeah, it'll be like nothing Jamaica has seen for certainly some time. Not that there are many players of Messi's ilk through history, but the only big players I can think of who visited Jamaica, Pele back in his day. Since that, Rivaldo, Romario, Van Nistelrooy, all three of those after they're retired as ex-pros in exhibition games, but never again. Not that there are many people in history who can hold a candle to Lionel Messi, or more to the point, someone during their careers. So this will impact Jamaica like nothing else that the sport has seen. And now keep in mind, we're talking about Jamaica, a country who've produced Usain Bolt and Shelly-Ann Fraser, and certainly in athletics, they are the standard bearers for world stars. But this is football, and this just kind of feels different. It feels bigger. It's more impactful, which is why they moved to the national stadium. Saying that Jamaican clubs have played most of their Concacaf games at the national stadium. But this is significant. It's significant for a population that's grown up loving the game, not being able to see these kinds of players in the flesh for more than a generation.
You know, when I think about Major League Soccer stars that have come here, the likes of Kaká, Zlatan, David Beckham, big players that have been in Major League Soccer, I don't normally associate the tour, if you will, with Central America and the Caribbean. That doesn't really happen. And when I heard that Inter Miami was selling games, a tour, the likes of El Salvador, these type of places and these type of venues, some of these older stadiums, I thought to myself, there's no way Messi's going to go and play there. There's absolutely no way. That would be unheard of. And yet he goes and he plays. It'd be very easy for Messi to say, El Salvador, their national stadium? No. Do I want to go to Kingston, Jamaica right now or rest? No. But you can make sure.
I think he will. I think
he damn well be there.
Yeah.
There's no part of me that's going to doubt that Messi's going to be there. I know 100% that if he is healthy, he will be there. That's just who he is. And call it being a romantic of the game, if you will, but this is absolutely going to change somebody's life in Jamaica.
100%.
There's going to be somebody who's going to be inspired in a way they've never been inspired, in the way that you just mentioned, Usain Bolt. That type of inspiration is seeing the greatest player to ever play the game in your country. This could be one of those things that you talk about as you're talking about Pele for years to come.
I'm so glad Herc mentioned that because we have to praise Messi for that. Because I remember when David Beckham signed for LA Galaxy, he was like, CONCACAF matches, I don't know if I want to go to Central America. I don't know if I want to go to the Caribbean. And Messi, make no mistake, is way bigger than David Beckham, especially when it comes to football, right, or soccer. And that's why I love Messi. I mean, he's a guy who was born to play soccer. Some athletes, some soccer players, they also are good for business. Messi, he doesn't care about any of that. He's a guy who just wants to kick the ball. Doesn't matter if it's in the Caribbean, in Central America, in MLS, in Europe, or maybe with Shaka, Herc, and Chris and I here in Connecticut,
I'll say this, and I'm saying this to no one in particular. I think we should take the show to Kingston.
Where do I sign? Where do I sign? Let's go.
I'm just putting it out there.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is that type of show
let's
for
speak
it.
Let's speak it into existence.
Alexis is there. Alexis is there right now, so she can do scouting for Futbol Americas.
By the way,
let's take the whole. Never mind scouting. There's desk and everything.
Everything.
What Cavalier is doing, it's exactly what MLS should be doing.
Yeah.
Every time Messi's on the road, put him in bigger stadiums, in NFL stadiums. He will attract big crowds. Yeah. Messi, it's box office. It's once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, like Herc mentioned.
Yeah, the only thing is in Major League Soccer, you're going to have scheduling conflicts. And some
you can make it happen.
Monterrey just got kicked out of their stadium because Shakira is coming into town. So, you know, there's some things that you just can't move.